Hello, I'm Heron Park, and I'll be guiding foreign residents living in Korea on how to correctly dispose and recycle garbage. I'm going to tell you why correct garbage disposal is necessary and how to dispose your garbage separately by type. The garbage we dispose is either buried or incinerated, which causes excessive costs for garbage treatment and serious environmental pollution. If we recycle garbage through proper garbage disposal, not only can we save on garbage treatment costs, but we can also reduce environmental issues such as soil and water pollution. Because of those reasons, we must promise to properly dispose our garbage. Now, let's take a look at how to dispose garbage separately by looking at the different garbage types that we use and throw out often. First, let's look into papers. Newspaper is classified under the paper category. It should be kept dry, neatly folded, piled up, and tied before being disposed in the paper disposal bin. When doing this, be careful not to mix in coded advertisements, plastic bags, and other wastes. For booklets and notebooks, remove vinyl-coated covers or springs before disposal. We use a lot of boxes from receiving parcels, right? These boxes should be compressed and bound together so that they are easy to carry. But first, you have to remove any vinyl coatings, tapes, and steel pins that might be attached to the box. How should we separately dispose paper packages that are widely used in milk or beverage cartons? Sterilized and aseptic packaging should be emptied, rinsed with water, folded, and put in a bag or tied up for disposal. Remove materials different from the paper packaging, such as straws and vinyl. You should place them in the paper disposal bin so they don't mix with other general paper wastes. If there's no separate bin for paper packaging, tie them up with a string so they don't mix with general paper wastes, and put them in the paper disposal bin. The same goes for paper cups that we often use. Empty the content, fold and put it in a bag or tie them up. Make sure you dispose synthetic paper or contaminated paper using a standard garbage bag. How should we separately dispose metal cans? For iron or aluminum cans widely used as beverage or food cans, we should dispose them after emptying the content and removing impurities by rinsing with water. Make sure you remove materials different from the metallic can, such as plastic lids. Gas containers such as butane gas should be put into the disposal bin after completely emptying the content. Next, we have scrap iron. When disposing scrap iron such as wire, nails, or stainless steel and non-ferrous metal, make sure they are not mixed with any impurities, then put them in a bag or tie them up before putting into the disposal bin. How should we separately dispose glass bottles such as beverage bottles or jam jars? The same goes for glass bottles. Empty the content, remove any impurities, then put in the glass bottle disposal bin. If possible, remove the labels and be careful not to break the glass. And there's this beverage container deposit system for glass bottles. You can get a refundable deposit when you return a bottle subject to beverage container deposit, such as soju and beer bottles at a supermarket. Make sure to check for deposit return information on the bottle lid and label. Bottles with impurities such as cigarette butt may not be acceptable, so please make sure to empty the content. Be careful when disposing the following garbage types as they are not disposed with glass bottles. Plastics are one of the major culprits of environmental pollution, and the world is taking a keen eye on recycling it properly. It is either classified as PET or plastic. Check the recycling label carefully and put it in the proper garbage disposal bin. First, we have PETs. You should empty the content and remove impurities before discarding PETs. Remove any materials that are different from the bottle, such as labels and accessories, then dispose in the PET disposal bin. As I have explained earlier, remember that you should always empty the content of a container and rinse with water to remove impurities before disposal. Next, we have plastics. There are several types of plastics, so you should check the material on the recycling label to sort accordingly. When disposing, remove any materials different from the main container, such as labels and accessories, before putting them into the plastic disposal bin. Remember, you should separately dispose pumps from pump-type shampoos. If the lid is of the same material, compress and close the lid back on. Vinyl labels should be separately disposed in the vinyl disposal bin. Vinyl should be separately disposed in the recycling bin. When disposing vinyl, put them in a bag so that they don't scatter. Plastic bags that used to have contents, such as coffee sticks or soup, should be rinsed with water to remove impurities before putting them in the vinyl disposal bin. Next, let's see how to separately dispose Styrofoam. Containers with food residues, such as ramen and boxed lunch, should be rinsed with water to remove impurities. Materials different from Styrofoam, such as labels, should be removed. You can dispose them in a bin provided separately from plastic containers and vinyl. Synthetic foams used as shock-absorbing materials for household electronics, such as TVs, should be returned to the vendor if possible. Oftentimes, it is difficult to know how to dispose waste batteries. If waste batteries are incinerated as general garbage, it can not only cause a risk of explosion but also cause air pollution from carbon emissions. When it is buried in the ground, it can also cause great environmental damage to the soil and water due to corrosion. This is why proper garbage disposal of waste batteries is an action we all should follow. Dispose battery waste in a waste battery disposal bin of an apartment complex or at your nearest local community center. Then, how should we dispose waste household appliances? For household appliances that are tricky to dispose, why don't you use the free home visiting disposal service? Free disposal of household appliances, such as large to small appliances, is provided to ordinary households. Small appliances cannot be disposed as a single waste item. Home visiting disposal service is available. You dispose it with 5 items or more, or with a large item. Please note that waste furniture such as wardrobes, electric blankets, and musical instruments are not subject to disposal. Large waste appliances that cannot be collected from free home visiting disposal service should be disposed as large wastes. Declare for disposal through the local government office website or local community center. Here's one more tip. You can dispose medical wastes at drugstores, health centers, or healthcare centers, so please remember to safely dispose medical wastes separately. Now that we learned about garbage disposal, did you learn any useful information? As for the location and time for garbage disposal for apartments, there's a separate disposal bin in the apartment complex. For townhouses or detached houses, there's also a designated location and time. These may vary, so please check in advance to properly dispose your garbage. Your actions will help reduce environmental pollution and create a virtuous cycle of recycling precious resources.